Hello, 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 ladies and gelatins. Welcome to Monday. So, I'm having a rough day today. Honestly, work is killing me lately, so it's gonna be a short stream so that I can try to recover some of my brain before tomorrow. Yes, hello, Kira. Hello, Ruby. And honestly, I love the energy I'm seeing in the chat already. And I would like to propose the past tense of blep to be blop. Because it makes me laugh. So yes. Yes, it can be blop. Okay. So, yeah. Yeah, as you know, last week I wasn't here because I had food poisoning. It was not a fun weekend, that's for sure. And honestly, that was simply blop. No, yes, this was the right call because it's so funny. It's so funny in my head. And it sounds so satisfying and it feels so satisfying to say. And it took me longer than I thought to recover from that because it turns out when you have like not a lot of calories, it's harder to recover without calories. And then I had calories, and then I was like insanely super duper hungry, and then I was too hungry, and then I ate too much. And now I don't know, my stomach just like hurts. Like low key all the time. Yeah. I have a feeling that work at least has something to do with it because being stressed about the current project and stuff definitely is not helping, unfortunately. But hey, we're here. We're gonna do some Shibuya scrambles. Scramble the limbs. Oh, thank you for a nice stretch. And we'll see how far we can get today. Yes. We will see how far we can get today. Also, I'm so sorry that my microphone stand apparently like squeaks now. I really gotta fix it, but hasn't been the time yet to do it. Oh, not that I'm aware of, though maybe my microphone made that noise. Auto incorrect. Yes. I know where like fire alarms are here, because like honestly, I don't know if we even have them inside apartments here, and haven't seen or heard one. Yeah, just like the loud. They're really annoying. I definitely remember this noise. It's just I haven't heard it in so long now. Okay. Remember. I think I just unlocked. Let's see. Yeah, I even had to look this one up because it was so weird exactly how you were supposed to unlock it. Yeah, the three ran long and hard after leaving the cafe. If the proofing deadline was 7 o'clock, they had to finish up with estimates by 6:30. Oh yeah, okay. Traffic was at a standstill. Traffic, there's no point in hailing a cab. Yeah, okay, and then yeah, that's what I thought. Like we got apparently I'm not allowed to. I just have to press the button until we get back to the part where Chiaki scrapes her knee again. Listen, I'm not saying you didn't hear it. I'm just saying I don't think it came from me, but if it did, it could have come from the microphone. I'm just saying I did not hear it. Oh, there probably was some kind of beep. I just didn't catch it. Look at all that paint on her knee. little run they wouldn't make it in time. With traffic the way it was, there was nothing they could do. Exactly 1 hour remaining. To be continued. Good. Okay, so we did get the to be continued part here. Okay. Use it to be continued. And Crown is unlocked. Achi. Hold on. Achi's unlocked. I'm more interested in the Achi part first. Man, Achi didn't recognize. Stay back. Looked like Maria had fallen unconscious. Achi's heart was racing in his chest. An eerie silence fell over the room. For several seconds, no one said a word, their eyes all fixed on Maria. Finally, Kanon looked up, her face ashen. It's starting. Oh, that's just... Okay, so we unlocked it and we get the to be continued, is it? Okay. Right. Got keep outs to be continued and... Okay. I'll go to the laboratory. It was Kanon. Electronic lock breaking is my specialty. Wait, the young man, Achi spoke up suddenly. So you're a martial arts badass, but your specialty is lock breaking? That's a very valid point, Achi. He looked positively dumbstruck. Kanon ignored him, thinking aloud. Brute force, side channel, shortcut. Given the situation, I think I have to go with side channel. Brute force, a cryptanalysis technique that involves test input of all theoretically possible patterns. If time were unlimited, this would be the most reliable means of decipherment. Is that a word? Decipherment? I guess it is, but I've never heard it this one before. I think like deciphering. Okay. Decipheration. However, in practice, the process takes massive amounts of time and computational power and can be defeated by systems that prohibit access after a limited number of failed input attempts. Side channel. Rather than trying to decipher the password itself, this method involves analyzing information from the device, such as processing time, power consumption, and electromagnetic leads, and using these details to exploit the system. Isolating the run state of devices is a crucial element of countering side channel attacks. A cryptanalysis method that uses mathematical algorithms to carry out efficient bulk calculations against a block cipher that makes use of a shared key for encryption and decryption. Even when such calculations are theoretically possible, however, in practice, the process requires a large amount of time, and the block cipher is seldom at real risk. Side channel. Side channels telling us, where's your equipment? One of the lab PCs will suffice. I can connect to a special server from the net. Don't really understand the stuff you're talking about, Achi said, but I'll trust you to handle this. I mean, you did risk your life to save Hitomi from that minivan explosion and all. I nodded. I have to warn you in advance, though. Cryptanalysis can take hours and still yield no results. Can't guarantee I'll be able to get the doors unlocked before Maria develops symptoms. I understand, Hitomi said. Achi nodded too. No one present had any objections. All of a sudden, there was a curious sound from somewhere in the room. What's that? Kano asked. What's making that noise? He looked around the workroom. That's my computer. Daisuke hurried to his desktop. The bank of monitors, which had been displaying surveillance camera footage from around Shibuya, had all gone black. The hell? What's going on, Dad? Achi joined his father, staring at the computer screens. It's all gone. The camera footage, it's been deleted. Daisuke blinked in disbelief. Now then, it seems our main cast has all been assembled. A man's voice, distorted by a voice modulator, suddenly emerged from the computer speakers. But where's the camera? The monitors all began to display a view of the inside of the workroom. Okay, but like, Why would you have a camera pointing to the inside of the room? Like, you have to set up the camera. It has to be a physical camera. Yeah, what the hell is this? Someone's broken through our firewall. A security system for preventing unauthorized intrusion to a computer network. The term stems from a metaphorical reapplication of the concept of a wall, meaning to inhibit the spread of a fire or other destructive forces. Hijack the surveillance camera system. Color drained from Daisuke's face as he looked at the screens. Where are they filming us from? Kana looked, scanning the inside of the room. Use the image on the monitor to guess where the camera might be located. Over here? The lens of the camera set atop the computer monitor. It's a miniature camera used for web conferencing and the like. Now that Maria and Hitomi are there, you surmise the situation at hand. So I offer a proposal. Laboratory password in exchange for Hitomi's blood. Realizing that now it was Alphard's voice they were hearing, everyone in the room froze. 7 o'clock, roughly 1 hour from now. See that Hitomi Osawa is waiting at the Scramble intersection outside Shibuya Station, just like this morning. Unless, of course, you're feeling particularly confident. You do have Kanon with you. Perhaps you'd care to take a gamble on her lock-breaking skills instead. Kanon clucked her tongue in frustration. Alphard had known exactly what the plan was. Hello, Ripsticks. Yes, I am being Jello-like today. That is definitely for sure. Hydrate. I do have tea, but it is still too hot to drink, so have to wait. Of course, if Kanon isn't able to get the door open in time, what will you do then? Maria is sure to die, yes, but that's not all. If you don't agree to my offer, I have the means of bringing another Maria and a third. These infectees will spread the virus throughout Tokyo. The death toll will likely number in the hundreds of thousands. It's difficult to predict the scope of infection in the event of a bioterrorist attack employing a highly infectious viral agent in a city with a large and mobile population. In a worst-case scenario, some researchers estimate as many as several million infected in a matter of days. So do think carefully before you decide. Alphard's voice was chillingly matter-of-fact. I will appear at the rendezvous in person. After all, it wouldn't do for the star of the show to miss the final curtain. Looking forward to meeting you all then. Silence fell. Then the images on the computer monitor returned to normal. The surveillance camera footage came back online as well. Daisuke promptly yanked out his Ethernet cable and slammed his fist on the keyboard. Damn it, there was a hole in the firewall. I'll have to redo my security from the ground up. Kanon said calmly. Can't win this if our intel keeps getting leaked. Stanley pursed his lips in consternation. We do, Kano asked him. Do we give in to his demands? I mean, do we really expect he's just gonna blithely show up like that? He's practically begging for us to come and catch him. There had to be some deeper plan at work. In saving my sister, I'll do it. Stanley was resolute. No, Stanley said, you can't. Why not? Because if you do, you'll be killed. Mi's voice caught in her throat. With the antiviral still present in your body a week after the fact, you're too much of a liability for Alphard to just let go. He's right, don't do it, Achi exclaimed. Tell me you can't go. Even still, I want to do it. Tomi stared defiantly at Stanley. You still want to go even knowing that you'll be killed? You can't just sit here and hope that Kanon is able to pull this off, she said. I want to do something for my sister. I want to save her. She peered down at Maria, sprawled on the floor. She'd object to me going, I'm sure of that. But I want to do what I can. To do things my way. My way, where we give in to terrorists. Which, why would he stop doing what he's doing? He's gonna do more and worse things in general. No one tried to contradict her this time. She's willing to take the risk that there are things the rest of you won't use. It's Kanon again. Let's hear it, Kano replied. He squared his shoulders. He was of the same mind as Hitomi. He couldn't just do nothing and leave it all on Kanon. After everything he'd been through, he wanted to stick with this case till the very end. Apprehend Alphard at the rendezvous and demand the password from him. Kanon offered the suggestions if it were a simple task. That lets you get what you want without putting Hitomi in danger. Kano let out a sigh. Hold on, he said. Even if we do arrest him, how are we going to get him to cough up the password? We don't have time to drag him off to an interrogation room. Besides, it doesn't strike me as the sort to offer confession that easily. There are ways, Scramble said. Once Alphard has made contact with Hitomi, call my cell phone. Hitomi tilted her head. Call you? I have plenty of information Alphard may want to bargain for. I can negotiate with him directly. Kano considered Kanon's proposal. You see, so we'll try both options. Attempt to hack the password of the lab and also try negotiating with Alphard. It gives us 2 chances. A tiny ray of hope, Hitomi's face brightened some. Split into 2 groups, one for the lab and one for Shibuya Station, Kanon said. Let's exchange phone numbers so we can be in touch when the time comes. The group quickly shared contact info, suggested. Hitomi and Kanon called one another's phones to be sure. Hitomi's cheerful ringtone felt out of place, but also somehow soothing. A fragment of normalcy in the midst of the crisis. Well, guess we're all set then, Hitomi said, looking down at the LCD screen. Her expression turned apologetic. Sorry, Kanon, for having me keep putting things on you. Hey, Kanon replied, don't worry about it. Okay, now I guess I should call my father. Hitomi called Kenji Osawa on his cell, asking him to let Maria and Kanon into the lab. And now we're gonna unblock him. Bam. Tanaka hadn't given Ai his password, so his last chance had gone up in smoke. He let out a long, shaky breath and shut his eyes tight. Was it true? Was there nothing more he could do? Osawa's cell phone rang. When he saw the name on the incoming call display, he nearly shouted out loud. It was Hitomi. Hitomi? Are you alright? Please tell me you're alright. Yeah, I'm fine. But Maria's... Maria? Is Maria there with you? Osawa's heart leapt. Dad, there isn't any time for me to explain everything, so I'll have to just give you the main points. This is so we can save my sister, so just stay calm and listen. Osawa struggled to hold back the 1,000 questions that immediately came boiling into his mind. There's a girl named Kanon who's going to bring Maria to the lab. She's going to try to hack the password in order to get us inside. Wait, hold on. Just what in the world is going on? There are a bunch of people here working to help save Maria. Can you wait for us at the lab, Dad? I'm not sure that electronic lock is something that'll be so easy to... We've got another plan in motion, too, and if that goes well, we might be able to learn the password. It's all too much to follow, but Osawa realized he'd have to take it to him. It was their only hope of saving Maria. Alright, he said, as he was asked. You said you're trying 2 approaches. You're not going to be in danger, are you? I'll be fine, don't worry about me. Okay, very well. Heading to the laboratory now. Can't go. When Osawa hung up and started for the house, I clung to him from behind. If you use the antiviral now, she said, everything will go public. There's no way we can keep the virus or the antiviral under wraps at this point. Osawa tried to pull free, but his wife was stronger than he expected. Besides, if Maria infects other people, the whole world is going to find out in a matter of hours. Oh, we can just quarantine her. If it's handled correctly, we'll still be able to retain secrecy. His voice was cold as ice. Do you even have any idea what you're saying? I do. You know how it sounds? This is the only thing I can... Her voice trailed off when he could feel the force of her trembling where she held him. I really put you into that much of a corner? Osawa slipped from Ai's arms and prostrated himself on the ground in front of her. Sorry. Truly sorry. Stop this, get up. If you're really sorry, then don't go to that lab. Osawa remained silent, his forehead pressed to the dirt. If you use that antiviral without corporate approval, your time with Okoshi is finished. It doesn't matter to me anymore. How can you say that? Virology is the only thing you've ever cared about. I began pummeling his back. Maybe virology is all I care about. I don't know the first thing about anything else. Never wanted to know. Never even thought to find out. Never bothered to learn what you or my own children might think. Failure. As a father, as a husband. How dare you say that only after it's come to this? I struck him again, harder than before. Okay, but like, I know this is a super emotional scene, but all I can think of, she's like, you can't quit, you're fired. And also just like he wanted to take the job in America, but like decided not to because of a bunch of stuff. So like it's not like he's gonna be without a job. In fact, he would be let away from his like weird blackmail that's keeping him at this place. That doesn't sound like a punishment. I know she's in a lot of distress and she's just saying everything. Still. It's just what I thought of, that's all. You're right. Gasped out the words between her lips. Maybe this has been too long coming. It's not too late. I can still start over. Start over? She paused in disbelief. You already turned down that American job. If you use that antiviral now, there won't be any starting over. Yes, because if you turn down a single job, you can never get a job ever again. Especially not one from a company who you could just be like, hey, some circumstances have changed and actually I can take the job. Like, I'm pretty sure he could still get the job. Will I lose you too? After you've gone and thrown everything else away like this? How could I possibly stay with you? I was sobbing softly now. Well, she never actually wanted to be with him, so like... Why does he want her to be trapped with him? She doesn't want that. He doesn't want that. Like, there's one thing he did know. She was right. They couldn't be together anymore. Just in general, yeah, no. He got to his feet and headed back into the house, leaving Ida behind. From the beginning, they were obviously so terrible together. He hurried through the back entrance and moved to the garage. Climbed into his car, fastened his seatbelt and took a deep breath. The image of a younger Maria arose in the back of his mind. Here she was at that park, getting drenched by the rain, holding back her tears as she waited for her father. Maria, this time I'm gonna come for you. I was wrong. Going to the lab wouldn't mean losing everything. Let too many important things slip through his fingers. Sawa pulled his car into the street and sped towards the laboratory. As if to signal to that the long day was drawing to a close, the dazzling sun sank down between the buildings in the distance. End? Oh, he gets an ending. Called Kenjo Sawa in his cell. Kano leaned in to whisper into Kanan's ear. You sure you're okay with this? What? I know that you're after Alphard. Are you sure you want to go to the lab and not... Right now, I want to save Maria. That's all. Her tone was as curt and mechanical as ever, and there was a fierce gleam of determination in her eyes. Maria was clearly someone very special to her. I'd ship it. Alright, Kano replied. Leave Alphard to me. He thumped himself on the chest. He'd succeeded this time, no matter what the odds. Kano could scarcely recall the whirlwind of events that had brought him here. He'd somehow survived a dozen disasters, even now a dear friend was in the hospital. There were times that he'd been ready to give up, but yet, at the end of it all, here he was. His opponent was an international terrorist. No matter how you looked at it, that wasn't a matchup for a mere detective. But I'm gonna do it anyway. Rumi, Yama, Detective Tateno. I'm gonna take down Alphard and save Maria Sawa's life. Just watch and see. To be continued. Give me the exciting music. Doodly doodly. last hour is actually 2 hours, and we only have 3. Oh. Alright, so Achi is already at a keep out. We have 2 characters. Kano's cell phone rang. He saw Kuze's name on the display. Kano speaking. What the hell are you doing? The director's voice was shrill with irritation. What's the situation with Maria Osawa? Have her in custody, sir. We need to get her into quarantine immediately. I'll send a counter NBC terrorism unit to pick her up. A public safety mobile investigation unit belonging to the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department. To the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department Public Security Bureau. That's a lot of words. The acronym NBC refers to nuclear, biological, and chemical threats. The unit not only gathers information and investigates terror incidents that make use of these means, but also deploys relief and safety restoration measures. Sir, the situation's a little complicated at the moment, Kano replied. He and Stanley made eye contact. Kano gave him a knowing nod. He knew what he needed to do here. He briefly informed Kuze of the plan to take Maria to the laboratory, was careful not to mention Alphard. Please, sir, he said, bowing reflexively to the phone. Let me handle this. Absolutely not, Kuze exclaimed. There's no way I can allow that. Maria Osawa needs to go into quarantine right now. Quarantine, the act of placing infectees in isolation, such as a medical treatment facility, in order to prevent the spread of infection. For viruses capable of airborne transmission, an airborne infection isolation room, you pronounce it like that, I guess, is sometimes used, which employs a negative air pressure to ensure that air from within the room does not get outside. Sir, please, just give us a little more time. Giving her the antiviral is the only way we can save her. If we put her in quarantine, it'll be a death sentence. Kuze let out a growl of frustration. Kano, this isn't your decision to make. Kano had run out of arguments. It was clear Kuze's only concern was stopping the spread of the virus. Director Kuze, are you just going to let Maria Osawa die? We can't put the lives of everyone in Shibuya at risk in order to save a single person. I know that, sir. So I'm asking you to please let me go to that laboratory. If it looks like we're not going to be able to hack the password, then at that point, quarantine can... Kano, Kuze snapped, giving you an order. I'm not accepting that order. Listen, Kuze said. How many years have you been... What do you mean by that, sir? Kuze didn't reply. Is this an order from up top? What's going on here, sir? Please, I need some kind of explanation. Stop it. You sound like a child. This is a dereliction of duty. Call me a child if you want, but I'm not following an order that I know isn't right. Let's just... I'm pretty sure you just need to say... Kano punched the end call button with his thumb. From an objective standpoint, maybe Kuze was right. They need to think about more than just Maria. If the UA virus spread throughout Shibuya, it would be a nightmare of epic proportions. Kano understood that perfectly clearly. Still, he looked down at Maria's face as she lay collapsed on the floor. This girl was still alive, and Kano couldn't stand idly by and let a living, breathing person die. Consequences be damned, he wasn't going to be the one to weigh the worth of someone's life. As he stood still clutching his cell phone, Stanley gently set a hand on his shoulder. Listen, we already know that there's a happy ending where he becomes a farmer. So, like, he can do this one thing, and even if he can't get his job back afterwards, like, there are other happy endings for this man. If you talk about the virus, you have someone have to punch a boulder. That might happen. Did fine, he said quietly. Alphard is in possession of the Gua virus. The people of Shibuya are already in danger. He may have already released the virus in the city. If he hasn't, he may do so at any time. Right now, what we need to do is get that antiviral and arrest Alphard. You made the right choice here. Thanks, Stanley. I appreciate hearing that. Stanley gave Kano a slap on the back. He was right. At this point, they needed to focus on the things they could still accomplish. So, guys, Achi stepped forward. Who's going to take Yutomi's sister and Kana to the lab? Maria was in no condition to walk, so they were going to have to take a car, which meant they needed a driver. Only have a motorcycle license, Achi said, and I don't know where the lab is anyhow. I should go with Maria alone. Non looked over at the others. There's no way of knowing for sure when she might become contagious. We shouldn't needlessly risk exposing more people to infection. She knelt down to gather Maria in her arms. Sorry, the tea is just so good and so nice on my stomach. In that case, I should drive. Tano whirled around at the sound of a new voice behind him. Tano? Why? Tano was standing in the doorway. You. Achi's face went red with rage. You're gonna unlock Achi now. Has to punch a bolt for safety. You. Achi snarled. In the doorway stood the man with the cane. Detective Tateno? Tateno. Kano and Daisuke spoke simultaneously. Now at last, Achi had a name for the assassin. It was a name he'd felt he'd heard somewhere before. You son of a bitch! Achi roared. What the hell are you doing here? Tate, no! I am truly sorry. You're sorry? Sorry, don't cut it, man. Not after what you were trying to do to Hitomi. Don't expect you to forgive me, and I intend to turn myself in to be punished for my crimes. Before I do that, please let me do what I can to help you. I think you've helped enough. Achi grabbed Tateno by the collar and drew back his fist. Kano moved to stop him, but Tateno held up a hand. No, it's all right. Let him do as he pleases. There was no trace of menacing expression the man had worn in their previous encounters. Achi scowled but lowered his fist, then raised his hand on Tateno's collar. Fine. Tomi's sister needs help, so we do need a driver right now. Make sure those two get to the lab and back safely. Violence solves all problems, unless it creates them. You know, that's actually like low-key true. But I also hate it. There are other ways to solve problems than violence. Thank you. I'm so sorry. Daisuke stepped forward. No, I'm the one who should be apologizing. I'm the one who got you caught up in this. Daisuke, we didn't really grow up to be very good people, did we? No, guess not. The two men stared bleakly at each other, shoulders slumped. In the end, Tateno said, I guess we were just trying to run away from our pain. I didn't expect my own son to be the one to teach me that. Achi's turned out to be a fine young man. He is Katane's boy, after all. Guys, Achi stepped in the middle of their solemn heart-to-heart. You can get sappy all you want later. Dad, once this is over, we're gonna go see Susan, okay? Sure. Daisuke nodded heartily. Hold on, Kano spoke up, turning to Stanley. If these two take Maria to the lab, that leaves just us two to apprehend Alphard down at the Scramble. Is that gonna be enough? I mean, Alphard's not gonna show up without a plan. The more people we have on our side, the better. I doubt we'd be able to get any help from the police. Good point, Stanley agreed. Hey, Achi said, I'm here too. And I'm going with you. I'll keep Tomi safe. Oh look, good news, Kano. Now we have 3 people. Stanley let out a sardonic laugh. Kano frowned. Achi, I appreciate the offer, but having 3 people instead of 2 won't make that much of a difference. If you're not sure of the enemy's exact plan, you really need strength in numbers. We could set up a dragnet like the task force did this morning, that'd be ideal, but... Come on, Detective, Achi said. Don't you have any idea what sort of approach the psycho might take? If I were Alphard, Kano mused, then I suppose my biggest problem would be figuring out how to get away after I'd taken Domi's blood. Stanley nodded in agreement. Violence isn't the answer. It's a question. Yes. Yeah, that is very Achi. Betting he plans to involve the Ua virus. If, for instance, he tells us he set up a device somewhere to spread the virus throughout Shibuya, that prevents us from taking actions against him. I just swallowed hard. The guy wanted to unleash a killer virus in Shibuya. If he succeeded, then the town Achi had known and loved all his life would become a graveyard. He needs to call up SOS again. Of course, that's more conjecture, Stanley murmured. Quite frankly, even I can only guess what he's going to do. His expression was grim. Strength in numbers, huh? So you're saying we absolutely need more that it? Essentially, yes, Stanley replied. But not just anyone, mind. If it's not a group that meshes well, it'll hinder more than help. Kano folded his arms across his chest. He looked perplexed. Mesh well together, huh? Achi had an idea. Yep. He could ask SOS. If there was anything he could do, it was that. It was a selfish request, he knew that. Susumu would probably be furious with him, but Achi would just have to deal with that. Even if his old pals wouldn't forgive him, they understood they'd be helping protect Shibuya. He was sure they'd step up and take action. Stanley. Yay. You know what? The thing is that I just want to say American. He's American. He's not specifically evil, but he is exactly the kind of practical American, like, cop style, yes. Answer American. Sorry. Sorry, I got ahead of you there. Give me half an hour. I'm gonna try to see if I can rustle him. Kind of straighten himself up. You think you can do it? Achi nodded assertively. Just wait here for me, okay? Said he to me. He gave him a worried smile. Alright, I'll be waiting. He'll be okay. Achi did his best to sound reassuring. Promise I'll bring back some help. He knew where he needed to go. The pool hall in Uraharajuku, that was his game. Okay. Running at top speed, he could probably make it at about 10 minutes. Alright. Rushing out the door with a battle cry loud enough for Kano and the others to hear from back inside the shop, Achi sped on his way. This time we can take Achi forward. Traffic on Dogenzaka was at a near standstill. Some sort of major accident. As Achi ran along the roadside, he heard a middle-aged man screaming angrily. You gotta be kidding me. What do you mean no trains are stopping at Shibuya? The guy was red in the face. Come on. Calm down, old man. Achi kept running. I mean, we know who that is, but like... I feel like we don't have time for that. Finally, he arrived at SOS's hideout. Two young men were standing by the door as lookouts. Achi recognized one of them. It was a kid whose so-called buddies had tried to shake him down earlier that afternoon. They roused themselves as Achi approached. Hey, I need to see Susumu. No can do. He's in the middle of something right now. The lookouts made no move to let him through. Achi felt a surge of resentment towards Susumu. If he'd still been with SOS, they'd never try to post members on guard duty like they were low-ranking Yakuza thugs. Let's rest again. Please, I need to see him. It's important. We can try without violence first. Just tell him Achi's here. He'll make an exception. At mention of his name, the two lookouts exchanged glances. Alright, I'll go ask him. One of the lookouts headed inside, leaving Achi alone with the kid he'd helped out earlier. Pants falling down? Like, bruh. They always stick you on guard duty? The boy didn't reply. Back when I ran with SOS, we never needed anyone on lookout. We were just a bunch of guys who loved Shibuya. Had a fun time hanging out with each other. That's all it was, really. It's not Susumu's fault that SOS changed, the boy said somewhat fearfully. Lately, it's Kiryu who's been driving things. Kiryu? Oh yeah, that guy. Achi recalled his earlier run-in with him. That guy was an arrogant bully. Planning on stealing Susumu's throne. What for? The boy took a nervous look at the door before hurriedly continuing. He's trying to expand SOS's influence. He's got a lot of people on his side. Right now, the gang's kind of split in two factions. Susumu's guys and Kiryu's guys. Finally, Achi understood what was going on. The gang members had all been acting weird because they were caught up in some sort of internal struggle. Kiryu goes on recruiting new followers by force. And if he doesn't like you, he dishes out punishment. This month alone, he sent out 8 people to hospital. SOS is a total mess, man. His plan of mine might not work after all. Achi felt a sinking sense of despair. If SOS was ravaged with infighting, it was doubtful they'd heed the dangerous request he had for them. But even still, I want to be a part of this gang, the boy muttered. Achi peered at him in surprise. Why? shake you down for dues, stick you on guard duty. That's not a decent way to treat someone. I look up to Susumu. He treats me like he would anyone else, even though I'm way down at the bottom. It's not just me. Susumu always puts the members of the gang before himself. That's why I want to stick with SOS. Uh-huh. So that's it, huh? Susumu really had been trying his best. And the members of SOS, some of them at least, admired him for it and stuck by him. Thanks, I just said. The kid gave him a dubious look. I didn't know if Susumu would help him out or not. He knew it was still worth putting their disagreements aside in order to ask. The door opened and the other lookout returned. Susumu says, "Come on in." Hachi nodded and strode inside. I see. Yeah, but like this is the interesting part. Of course. Alright, Kana, we just... It's gonna take you to Tommy's sister. Okay, Maria's in no condition to walk. They're gonna take her car. It's the same part of the story. Hold on. I think we actually had this on the other one. I think we just needed to, like, do that first. Hold on. Oh, I got it. No, you. You. Gotta jump. It's much easier when there's 3 characters, I guess. Much fewer variables. Hachi's protests were vehement, but he backed down at last. Tatana would escort Kanan and Maria back to the lab. That left 3 to try to apprehend Alphard, Kano, Stanley, and Achi. Having only 3 people was a dicey prospect, though, so Achi took upon himself to gather some backup. Tatano got the car keys from Daisuke, then helped Kanan pick Maria off the floor. Kano watched him warily. There was no trace of the blood-curdling expression the older detective had shown where he was holding Maria at gunpoint. His face was that of a man with a responsibility, the Tatano that Kano had always known. "You sure you're okay with this?" Tomi asked Tatano. "You might get infected." "It doesn't matter. Don't worry about me. All I care about now is helping you two if I can." He hesitated, glancing down at the unconscious girl he held. "By the way, have Maria's memories come back?" Tomi tilted her head. "Her memories?" "I suspect she took a blow to the head when she was abducted. When I ran into her earlier, she didn't even know her own name." Well, she seemed like the same sister I've always known when she came in here." "Good. Her memory must have recovered." Anna was shocked to hear that Maria had suffered amnesia. It explained why she hadn't contacted anyone after she'd been set free. "All right, then," Tateno said. "We'll be back." Carrying Maria, he and Kanan headed for the door. "Detective Tateno." Kano called out and paused, tongue-tied, when Tateno stopped. There were so many things Kano wanted to say, but he couldn't find the words for any of them. Once Maria is safe, I'll turn myself in. Yes, I have been playing this game for a very, very long time, but you know what? I've loved it every time. This game is great. It'll be a little sad to see it go once it's there, but we have epilogues still, we got a bunch of stuff, but yeah, it's basically turning into the final season. Tateno kept his back turned. The words were like a dagger in Kano's heart. Once this was all over, Tateno would no longer be a detective, but a criminal. Kano knew there was no alternative, but still the realization hit him hard. "Detective Tateno, I..." Stop your dithering, but never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. Ever. Kano snapped back to attention at Tateno's words. That was dictum number 1. The the advice that had kicked off the whole Dick diary. I'm not the one you should be worrying about right now, Sano continued. We need to save Maria Osawa's life and protect the people of Shibuya. Kano bit his lip. I know that, but... Kano still wanted to express his regret at how things had turned out for his idol. You really are a terrible policeman, you know. Tatsuno gave him the bare hint of a smile and headed out of the room. As Kano watched him go, he realized he really didn't have anything to say. There were only 30 minutes remaining until the time when Alfred had told them Hitomi should be back at the Scramble. They need to get ready for some action. Is the surveillance camera system still up? Kano asked. Yes, Daisuke replied. Looks like what happened earlier was just a temporary hacking job. Will you help us? Daisuke inclined his head. What do you mean? I'd like you to keep your eye on the Scramble for us. If anyone suspicious tries to get near Hitomi, let us know. Anyone suspicious? How will I know it's suspicious? Like that organ trafficker suggested you kidnap Hitomi, Mr. Endo. Possible that he might be Alfard. Would you be able to recognize his face? Daisuke furrowed his brow deeply as he began entering commands on his keyboard. Yeah, don't think I could ever forget. It's because of him that you left the rest unsaid. Last time Broccoli Man happened, a long time ago, thank goodness. Some months last year. No, not that long ago. Wait, maybe. Actually, it might have been. I basically skipped all of January. Unknown. A moment later, several of the monitors switched over to feeds from the Scramble. All right, Daisuke squinted at the images. Not sure how much help I can be, but let me at least try to atone for what I've done. Of course, thank you. Daisuke's fingers flew over the keyboard, and soon all the monitors were focused on the Scramble and its surroundings. He carefully adjusted the angle and zoom for each of the cameras. Now the whole area was under total surveillance. All they had to do was get their stakeout crew to the scene. Where did Achi go? Kano asked Hitomi. I'm not totally sure, but I think he went to find some of his old friends. Hitomi sounded worried. Friends? Achi used to belong to a gang called SOS. Actually, he told me he was the one who formed the gang in the first place. What? Kano couldn't keep the shock from his voice. Achi was the founder of SOS? Bizarre that the two of them would wind up meeting each other this way. But I guess there was a big falling out between them, so I think he went to try to win them back over. Kano hadn't heard anything good about SOS since Achi left them. If things had ended on bad terms between him and the gang, getting them to help might well be a lost cause. Oh my gosh, 7 months ago? Wow, it has been a really long time with this game. Oh my gosh. And even if Achi was able to gather some people up, how much would Kano and the others be able to trust them? He'll be alright, Hitomi said as if sensing Kano's thoughts. I'm sure Achi will bring back some of his old friends, and when he does bring them, I'm sure he'll choose people we can count on. You really trust him, don't you? Yes, Hitomi said without hesitation, and a blush came to her cheeks. Ooh, she got it bad. Alright, then I'll trust him too. It'll take about 10 minutes to get to Endo Electronics to the Scramble. Kano turned to Stanley. Let's plan to head out by 6:50. Stanley gave no reply. He'd withdrawn to the edge of the room where he stood lost in thought, his expression uneasy. Kano decided to leave him alone for a bit. Taking a sheet of paper from one of the desks, he began drafting a plan for positioning Achi's reinforcements around the Scramble. Alright, there we go. In about 5 minutes, he'd drawn up a little map of the optimal places to deploy the team. It included positions for as many as 20 people Achi might be able to by. Kano turned around, surprised by Stanley right behind him all of a sudden. Haggard. Anything the matter? Kano asked. You need to go to the Scramble without me. What? Where's this coming from all of a sudden? Please don't ask me to explain. Something else has come up and I have to see to it. Sweat beaded on Stanley's brow. Whatever happened, Kano had no doubt it was something major. And almost certainly it had something to do with Alfard. Stanley. Please tell me. We're past the point of keeping secret. I just want to know. They've come this far together. Surely it was too late to get all tight-lipped now. Sorry. I wish I could tell you more. Stanley dropped his eyes. Kano had a vague idea of what Stanley was up to. Probably felt he needed to keep things hidden from his own allies in order to help keep Alphard in the dark. Or at least that was Kano's guess. Alright, I understand, Kano said with resignation. Do what you have to and come back soon. With an apologetic look on his face, Stanley turned and hurried from the workroom. Visual novel. Yes. That is true. That is true. No, it does make sense. It does actually make sense in the end, especially since I'd already switched to, like, once per week. And yeah, there's been a lot of days with just 1 hour, like today. And it is like that. And it's okay, honestly, because, like, you just get there bit by bit. Like, it's all about the marathon, not the sprint. And that's kind of been, like, the whole point of streaming as a concept, is just to enjoy that, like, games, like, you finish games by just, like, putting in hours slowly. It's like you finish most things by just, like, putting in more time into it. But it's, like, really nice to actually still be able to finish things, so. Kind of glanced at his watch. It was coming up on 6:50. Pretty soon they'd have to head for the Scramble, but Achi still hadn't returned. We would head out soon, he said to Tomi. You said 6:50, she replied. There's still 2 more minutes to go. Kana let out a tiny sigh. He shared Tomi's fervent hope that her reinforcements would come, but not her confidence. If Achi didn't reappear, Kana would be left to protect Tomi all by himself, and to try to reprehend Alphard as well. Would he be able to pull it off if it came to that? Nope, he'd never be able to do it on his own. He just had to wait for Achi, accepting that they'd be late. The clock kept up its steady ticking. With each minuscule movement of the second hand, Kano felt the tightness growing in his chest. A minute passed. 2 minutes. Time was of the essence. They couldn't keep waiting any longer. Tomi, I don't like having to do this, but we can't wait any longer. Seeing the look of determination on Kano's face, she gave a tiny, reluctant nod. To be fair, he does know where they're going. They could be there. Unlock, he's unlocked, and also he's probably going to show up at this point. We got 3 minutes. Hang there, Chiaki. Just keep it together. Norikawa rushed to her side and offered her a hand. Surely it hardly matters at this point. You're not going to make it on time regardless, Kaneyama said coldly. And in any case, if 4-star General Gossip doesn't get released, it's Mr. Toyama who's going to be in trouble, not you. I dare say the world would be better off without with 1/3 rate gossip brag less anyway. Shut your mouth, Chiaki snapped. If the gossip doesn't come out, I am going to be in trouble. An article I've written is supposed to come out in next month's issue. It's a piece I worked my very hardest on to the very end. A piece Mr. Mino saw fit to put in print. If it goes away, all that goes away, y'all be in trouble, all right. Chiaki's legs wobbled as she struggled to get back to her feet. Chiaki, Kaneyama said, your zeal is a marvelous thing. Worthy of admiration, even. When it comes to work, results are all that matters. Sad to have to put it that way, but I must be honest, it's just common decency. Kaneyama glanced at his pocket watch. You have 57 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. At this rate, you won't even make it to interview venue before your time's up. Frankly, I don't even think a further extension of your deadline would make any difference in the end. Damn it. Narikawa ground his teeth. He wondered if she should just leave Chiaki here and go interview SOS by himself. He could expand the article on SOS, then work a small part of Chiaki's interview piece into at least fill out the layout. Right now, the single most important thing was getting the magazine out the door for Toyama's sake. And if he did cut most of Chiaki's copy after all she'd done, he might wind up totally killing her passion for being a writer. Nah. You have to stop waffling. Professionals don't let their personal feelings dictate their decisions. I can help Chiaki work through her emotional struggles later. No. Chiaki, that's enough. The young woman got to her feet, staggering as she began to climb the stairs. I'm not giving up, she said under her breath. I can't give up now. Though obviously in pain, she struggled to keep her legs moving. Damn, I can't do it. Look how hard she's fighting to stay in the game. I can't tell her I don't need her article now. Releasing the next issue of the Gossip wasn't just going to save Toyama, it would save Chiaki as well. Minorikawa couldn't abandon either one of them. Which left him with a hell of a dilemma. He needed to make a decision. If he didn't stop wavering soon, they'd be out of time. Try as he might, he couldn't come up with a plan. A familiar voice from behind him. If you're wondering what path to take, Allow my taxi to be your guide. This guy. It's just coming out of nowhere. Oh yeah, no, this is exactly perfect way to play this type of game, honestly. Like, yeah, you could totally binge it, and that's great too. Honestly, I bet it would be really fun to binge, like little bits and pieces at a time. Also super, super fun. Like getting to see a show every week that you've been waiting for. You know what? This is a perfect place to stop. It is exactly the 1 hour mark. And this is an amazing looking scene. And there's the little save icon there. It's perfect. Yeah, teleports behind. Need a ride? Plus, it leaves us with a nice, jazzy tune for the ending of the stream. All right. Well, thank you all for hanging out. I honestly do feel better than when I started. It definitely helped to get away from work and back into this and just hanging out with people, getting to enjoy more of the story, getting to another hour, very exciting. And yeah, so next week should be normal, I think, but it's also a holiday, so I'm pretty sure, but it also, like, I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna be in town. So I'll let you guys know. It is Easter Monday next week, which, by the way, Easter, wow, like, bam. You guys know it's, like, super officially spring, and it's Easter. Like, crazy. But yeah. So, anyways, thanks everyone, and I really do appreciate it. I appreciate all the good vibes, all the support, all the everything. Hope everyone feels similarly. Just that this is sort of, even if briefer, just sort of a nice oasis, just chilling, relaxing, and anyways, so see you guys either next week or the week after, depending on if I'm gonna be in the city or not, and we'll go from